from Lambie's Nursery, and today I'm going to tell you a story that I've talked about on my channel before, but when I talked about it before, I was talking in the moment. So I recorded these like minute by minute as they were happening, and so my reactions were super emotional and super blunt maybe, and I don't know. I also didn't have all the details of the story. I wasn't sharing all the details with you guys. And when I did, it got confusing. So I just want to go back and be as coherent and tell as good of a story, or at least as accurate of a story as I can. But before I do that, we have 2 house rules for this video. So the first time I talked about this topic in those 4 videos, I got so much hate, and I know I did a lot of things wrong. I'm gonna talk about that in this video. I know I messed up, but we all mess up, so please either be kind, keep your comments to yourself, and most of all, do not send messages you would not want your mommy or your grandma or your sister or your brother or someone in your family to see. If you wouldn't tell a family member to do a certain thing, don't tell me to do a certain thing, okay? It really upsets me to see certain comments like that, okay? Thanks, guys. And then that second one is I'm not going to be revealing any names. The other party in this is a young woman like me, although a little bit younger, and she made some mistakes like I did, and I hope with all of my heart that she is learning from those mistakes and trying to make a better life for herself and make better, wiser choices. I hope this whole ordeal was a lesson to her, because it was a lesson to me. It was a lesson to her on how we should treat others. So with that being said, let's start the story. So the story starts in 2018, actually. It was September 2018, and Ethan and I had been dating for about 8 months, I think, and he had to go away. So due to our jobs, we have to do what our job says, and sometimes our jobs will tell us to go very far away from each other for a long period of time. So I was living in Hawaii. Ethan had been living in Hawaii, in the state of Hawaii, with me for those 8 months we were dating. But then he had to move to Florida, which is a long way away from Hawaii. And that was the first week we were long distance, and it was really hard on me. So I kind of stress bought a doll. I stress bought this custom doll, and I was really excited, but I was also really upset about Ethan being gone. It was really tough on me for him being gone. I had a lot to learn about myself, long distance relationships, and how to just be an adult, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so the doll comes like 2 months later. I think it's November, and I just did not like her. There was something off about her. She just was not for me, and I could feel that. So what I did when I got some more free time, because I was super busy in the months of November and December and early January. So come mid to late January, I had some free time. So on Instagram, I was like, hey, I've got this doll. I'm going to be selling her. Not too interested in trades, but mostly just want to sell her. So I didn't get a lot of interest from people except for this one teenage girl. She kept messaging me, like quite a few messages, and she was like, I wish I had the money for this doll. I really want her, and I love her. And I was like, cool. I'm so sorry you don't have the money. I wish I could just give her to you. And then one of her messages was like, do you want to trade? Now, I had never done a trade in the reborn community, but I had done some trades in the American Girl doll hobby, and those had always gone pretty good. So I was like, if it goes anything like my American Girl doll trades, sure, that sounds like a blast. Let's do a trade. So we made up the terms to the trade, like what she was going to give me, what I was going to give her. And right around this time, I think I had a few days before I was going to get on an airplane to Florida to go visit Ethan for 3 weeks. I was so excited to see Ethan. Like, I really missed him. If you haven't been in a long distance relationship for 18 months, one, I don't recommend it. And 2, it's really, really hard. But anyways, I was getting ready to go on my trip with Ethan, and I had the doll I was going to give her, and I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know if I should ship it to her or if I should put it down in the plane below and take it with me to Florida and then ship it from Florida. I didn't really know what to do. And I told the girl this, like, hey, we have 3 options. I can ship you the doll now. I can take the doll with me to Florida, but, you know, TSA, we're not always sure what they're going to do with reborn babies, so that might be a bit of a risk. Or the third is to wait until I get done with my vacation. And she really, really wanted the doll right away. So I bit the bullet, and I went ahead and sent the doll. And then I sent her her tracking number, went on my plane to go see Ethan. We went to Disney World with my parents and my great-grandparents, and it was a wonderful time at Disney World. And after we got back from Disney World, Ethan and I were just at his place, you know, exploring his town that he's now in and just having fun. We were doing like all kinds of like home projects to his house to make it look better. It was a lot of fun. But I think it was maybe a couple days after we got back from Disney World. I don't totally remember, but I know I was still with Ethan. And the girl says she had finished my doll, and she then just sent me this Instagram story picture of the doll's face, and then it said shipped, and that's all it said. She didn't send a tracking number, she didn't send anything, but I just kind of like remembered, okay, it's been shipped. It's like February 9th, whatever day it was, and it's been shipped. But also around this time, I was getting messages from her like every single day with her panicking about the tracking number I had sent her. So if you guys don't know, the USPS website sometimes like goes down and you'll get an error message that says like tracking systems or whatever are down right now, come back later. Like, it's pretty typical. It's a website. Websites go down, right? And this happened 2 or 3 times, and she would freak out and blame me and be like, where's my doll? Where's my doll? And I'd be like, hold up, it's okay, this isn't my fault. Websites just glitch sometimes. Just wait a few minutes. And she was like being a super hawk on this tracking number I had sent her for the doll, and was like looking at it and messaging me multiple times a day about this tracking number. And so I deal with that. And then it gets to the last few days of me and Ethan's trip, and the doll hasn't updated in a few days, and the girl is getting mad at me over that, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never had this happen to a package, and also this isn't my fault, but I don't know. Her messages seemed like she wasn't able to understand that the tracking number wasn't me, Kirsten, driving my little Jeep across the ocean to California, then up and through the states and up to where she lives. Like, that's not how mail trucks work, but she didn't seem to understand that. She seemed to like think that I was with the doll and that I was the one taking up the states, and it's my fault it wasn't there yet. But what I did was, at the first chance I was able to, I made 2 reports with USPS, like missing package reports, and I was calling USPS every day, I was emailing them every day, and I was checking those reports every single day. And that was happening on my last few days with Ethan, when we should have been really spending time together, when we really should have been focused on each other. And this girl did know I was on vacation. Remember, I had told her that I was on I was about to go on vacation when I shipped her doll. I still regret part of this, and it still makes me really, really upset. So I felt like I couldn't leave my phone because this girl was always upset and always just freaking out about something when it came to that tracking, no matter what I was doing. Even when I was calling USPS every single day, it wasn't enough for her. And she was just either freaking out or sending these really just short replies like, okay. And on Valentine's Day that year, so February 14th, Ethan wanted to give me a very magical day because it was Valentine's Day. And, you know, we went out to dinner, we went to the beach, and we sat and talked on the beach for a long, long time. And then we went over to the water, and he got into the water, and he got down on one knee, and he proposed to me. That's how Ethan proposed to me. And it was beautiful and wonderful. And when I opened my phone to go, you know, tell family and friends and everybody else I was engaged, there were more messages from this girl angry with me that her doll wasn't at her house yet, even though I was doing everything I could. And that really sucked. It sucked that I couldn't open my phone to tell friends something so amazing without having this girl freaking out that her package was lost. And yes, I totally understand that is so stressful. But at the same time, sending people angry messages over and over and over again about a lost package really kind of sucks. That's not on the person who sent you the item, that's on the mail service. And I was already working that the best I could. So when Ethan proposed to me, that was like my last day in Florida. The next day I got on a plane and I was crying. I'm not gonna lie. I was leaving my fiance for who knows how long, and it was just really stressful and emotional. And not only that, but I'm dealing with this drama on top of it. So, you know, I'm on the plane, really sad, probably crying, and I'm texting Ethan, and then I get a new message, and it's from the girl I'm dealing with this doll drama with, and she's asking for money. She's going, I guess in her mind, she thought that she should get money for this trade because the doll hadn't arrived yet, even though, mind you, I said a few minutes ago that all I knew about my doll was the word shipped. I didn't have a tracking number. I didn't really have a day that she shipped it. She just sent me a story that had a picture of the doll's head and the word shipped. That was it. And yet this girl is harassing me a few times a day and is asking me for money. Yeah. At that point, I was super upset, super angry. I don't know where my own doll is. I don't know why she didn't send me a tracking number. Her doll is lost. I'm calling USPS every single day to try to find her doll. And yet she's demanding money from me and doesn't seem to understand that I'm doing everything in my power to find her doll. Like, it was just absurd. But I kept my cool and I was just like, if this hasn't been found by, like, I think I gave her a date. I think it was like late March. I was like, I'll give you some money, okay? But anyways, so I think things were pretty quiet for a couple weeks, and I was calling USPS every day, and then all of a sudden her doll started moving, and I think that was like around February 20th, her doll started moving, and it was delivered. And she had her doll. She was so happy. She was sending me messages just about how happy she was. And, well, I still didn't have my doll yet or a tracking number. And my birthday went by. My birthday's February 26th. And I think a couple days after my birthday, I was like, you know what? I just got to ask. I went through all this drama with her, like, hawk checking the tracking number that I gave her and being really harassing and crazy about this tracking number. Why don't I have a tracking number? I didn't tell her any of that. I was just like, hey, so you said you sent the doll, but I don't remember when, and I don't remember you sending me a tracking number. Can you get that tracking number again? And she was like, it'll take me 2 or 3 days to get you that tracking number. I went, huh? Like, shouldn't you have it like in your purse or somewhere else? And, you know, it just sounds really shady that she said that, but I was like, fine. So 2 or 3 days later, I asked again, hey, about that tracking number. And she was like, yeah, I lost the tracking number, but I called the post office and they said it won't be there until like March 30th. And at this point, it's like March 1st, and apparently she sent the doll like in the beginning of February. And I'm like, what? You harassed me for months because your doll took a month to get there, but you expect me to wait 2 months? What? And I still don't have a tracking number? I am getting scammed. What is up with this? This is not okay. No, of course, I didn't say any of that. I really kept my cool, and I was just like, I need that tracking number. Like, this isn't okay. I need that tracking number. And that's when I made my first video that's like on this topic. I didn't say her name, but that's when she started telling everybody in the reborn hobby that I am really rude and that I was being rude to her. And I think in one of my videos I did, I showed the receipts. I showed that I had like only asked for a tracking number, and apparently I was rude for asking for a tracking number. And I guess a lot of people saw right through that and they were like, it's not rude to ask for a tracking number. It's way more rude to lead somebody on like this. So she ended up giving me a tracking number, and she ended up giving me the full story on what had happened. Actually, before I even get into that, there is a weirder part to this. One of the messages she sent to somebody when she was calling me rude, she also said that she didn't ship the doll because she planned on going to my fiance's house and surprising me. Now, I had told her over and over again, like, if you're going to ship the doll to Florida, I'm not going to be there after like February 15th. I'm only there for vacation. And she was like, okay. And she understood that. And it's, sorry, that just still mind boggles me, because when I told Ethan, he was like, that's creepy. That is so creepy to have someone just show up at his door and be like, here you go. Like, one, I wouldn't have been there, so it wasn't a fun surprise. Two, Ethan didn't consent to that. He's not okay with that. That's not why we gave you Ethan's address, so you could just pop in and be like, hey, Ethan. And three, the reason I went to visit Ethan in February was because in March, Ethan was going to a faraway country for his job, for our job. Me and Ethan work a very stressful and scary job where sometimes we have to go to faraway places and do some stressful things for a few months. So he was about to go on a really stressful trip for a few months. And, you know, that's also adding to all my anxiety and my emotions and my stress, like thinking about Ethan off somewhere scary. And I don't know, it really just upset me that she kind of ignored everything I said, and to like cover her own tracks, she was like, I'm gonna just show up at this guy I don't even know's house. I hope he's there, and I'm just gonna give him a doll. And then he has to deal with trying to ship it to Hawaii. I don't understand. Anyways, I found out the real story eventually. Like, she eventually came clean and told me the story, which was she had never shipped the doll in early February like she had told me she had. She just didn't ship it. She said that she didn't have the shipping money, and she just kept hoping that she would get the money and be able to ship the doll. But that kept not happening. And when I finally asked her about the shipping in late February, she was once again like delaying. When she said she needed a few days to find the tracking number, what she really meant was she was hoping she'd get money so she could do the tracking. Now, when she finally came clean to me, she herself was on vacation, and they found out that she couldn't ship it while on vacation. So I guess she was demanding money from me, hoping that she'd have enough to ship the doll. I don't know, all of that still seems really uncool to me. But anyways, she was like, I promise to send you the doll when I get back from vacation. So by like March 20th, she had shipped the doll and I got the doll. And I still have the box opening up if you guys want to see it. But I was really disappointed. It came completely disassembled and I basically got a box of fluff. The doll wasn't varnished, so the paint was like coming off, and it was just not great at all. That whole experience was just this horrible experience. But something good did come out of it. Like, I think with that first video I made talking about what was happening to me, this girl Chelsea watched it and she started talking to me, and we started talking about like life, like her brother, what I did for a living, my best friend. And from that point on, we really forged this beautiful, wonderful friendship. And it is so crazy to me that out of just this mass chaos for like 2 months, something so beautiful came out of that. Me and Chelsea are still really close, and I love her to death, and I'm just so glad I have her as a friend. I have learned so much from that experience. And with all of my heart, I really hope she has also learned a lot from that experience, because I'm fairly certain like she's approaching like a few months away or has already reached adulthood by now. And I just hope and pray with all of my heart that she has learned from this and learned that lying and cheating to get what you want just isn't cool. Especially if you wanted to make this a business, because if you sold someone a doll, let's say, and they're like, here's the money, here's your $200, and then you never shipped it for like 2 months, they would definitely start to notice, and they really wouldn't be happy when they don't get their doll, but you've kept the money and just ran away with it. People don't like that. It doesn't make them happy, and it's just not a great business model. So I really hope she has learned from this, because also lying like that affects so much of your life. I pray all the time for her that she has learned and will continue to grow and flourish into her mature, responsibler adult life. But as for me, I was the adult in this situation. I should have said something earlier. I should have been more aggressive. Maybe not aggressive. I should have been more assertive when she sent me that picture, and I should have been like, hey, where's the tracking number? Or I should have been like, hey, do you have money for shipping? Because if you don't, I can spot you the money. I really should have done something else. A lot of people have told me that I should not have done a trade or have done any business with the teenager. At the time, I thought her parents were on board. I don't know if they were or not at this point. I have no memory. But anyways, nowadays, I do not do any business with teenagers, and I make that clear when I do sell a doll on Instagram or do a giveaway. And a lot of teens will message me and be like, this is totally discriminatory and not fair. And it sucks that I have to say, well, someone screwed me over, and I don't want to ever be in that situation again where I really screwed over and kind of scammed. And it does suck, because not all teenagers are like that, and I know that in my heart. I wish I could sell or give all the dolls to all the teens, but when they turn 18, then we can do business. And I'm sorry, guys. I really am about that. But I really just should have been more assertive with her, and I really should have maybe tried harder to explain, like, it's not my fault that the doll is lost. Please stop harassing me. I am doing everything I can by calling and emailing the post office every single day. Like, there's not much else I can do. Please stop harassing me. I'm with my fiance and we don't have much time together, and you're really making things a lot harder on me than they need to be. But at the same time, I don't know if that would have helped, because some teenagers don't really have thoughts outside themselves yet. And she kind of seemed like maybe she was like that. I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment, and that's okay. But, you know, some teenagers don't have empathy yet, and that's totally okay. That's totally developmentally normal. And so that probably wasn't the best way for me to have handled that situation. If I had told her, hey, you're really making my vacation suck. Please stop. But what I could have done instead was, when she originally asked for a trade, I should have been like, no, I'm so sorry. I don't do business with teenagers. I really did mess up. And to her, I am still really sorry. Like, I put her in that situation. I really should have said no trades, because I ended up putting her in a situation where she felt like the only way to get what she wanted, which was a doll, was to lie. And I shouldn't have put her in that situation. I really should have tried everything I could think of to make sure she didn't lie or get herself into that situation. And I don't know, I really hope she did learn from this, and I myself have learned to be a little bit more assertive. I want to be like as nice to everybody as I can in the reborn hobby. I want to be like super nice and kind, because that's just how my personality is wired, and it doesn't always feel kind to me to be like, hey, you said you'd ship me a doll, where's the doll? But I need to be more like that sometimes, because not everyone's personality leans toward being as nice as they can. But man, if I hadn't have met Chelsea in that situation, like, she, towards the end of that, like, she was the only thing that was keeping me sane and making me not want to leave the reborn community. Because when I was in Florida, and also when she was just plain harassing me and calling me rude for asking for a tracking number and saying she was going to sell the doll. Yeah, she was telling people that she planned on selling the doll instead of sending it to me. I was so mad. I thought everybody in the reborn hobby was like that, and I was planning on leaving the hobby altogether. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was going to go back to American Girl dolls and just pretend none of this had ever happened. I'm really glad I didn't do that, and I'm really glad that things worked out the way they did. And I just want you guys to know, like, if you're going through something bad, like if you're being scammed or someone is harassing you or not treating you very well, things do get better. I promise. I never would have thought that so many good things would have came from that situation, like a friendship, this channel growing so I can meet so many of you. Like, this, a lot of good came from this, and I am so thankful for that. And I know you guys can get through whatever you are going through, and I know good things are going to come from it. But yeah, that was the full story of the time. I don't even know what to call it. Was I scammed? Was I just harassed? The time? I don't even know. And like, the comments I was getting on that video were crazy. Like, so crazy I can't even talk on YouTube about it. But a lot of people are of the consensus that it was my fault, which you are right. I was the adult in the situation and I should not have accepted a trade. But they were also like, you should have just let her steal from you. You should have just let her sell the doll and then get money and then sell that doll and get more money. Like, you should have just let her walk all over you. And I don't know if that's totally okay still, and that upsets me that so many people think that it was okay. Anyways, I'm just rambling. But that was like my worst experience in the reborn hobby. That's what made me want to leave. And now that the story's all out there, hopefully I can like close it and be done with it. I just wanted to like put it all out there, because I'll watch those videos now, like rewatch them or whatever, and I'm like, you forgot about this detail, that detail, you put that all out of order, you are being super camera shy, Kirsten. So this video is out there now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, guys. Whoa. Bye, guys. Hey guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are always so amazing. And wow, this video turned out really long, but it is kind of a really long story to like get everything out there. I hope this was a little bit more helpful or enjoyable or understandable, like seeing the whole story out there. And I don't know, but thank you guys so much for watching and for your support. Like I said, I don't want any hate comments on this, and I will never share the names that were involved because she is young, and I'm still praying every day that she has changed and grown from this and learned.